Look closely. 5 gemstones are about to appear before your eyes. Don't overthink. Don't compare. Don't try to pick the right one. Simply let your intuition decide. The gem that captures your attention in these next 5 seconds isn't just a pretty stone. It's a message. A mirror held up by your unconscious mind. Take a breath. Let your gaze soften. Now, choose. The moment you did, something ancient inside you awakened. What you just performed wasn't a simple visual preference. It was an act of revelation. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, called this realm the collective unconscious, a vast inner landscape where the most powerful human archetypes dwell. Heroes, guardians, kings, creators, warriors. They live within you, silently shaping your beliefs about love, security, power, and yes, about money. Jung's 30 years of studying the deep psyche led him to a radical truth. Our everyday decisions, even those that seem trivial, are influenced by ancient patterns buried beneath awareness. Patterns that dictate how we pursue success, how we handle loss, and how we define what it means to have enough. This, my friend, isn't pseudoscience. This is archetypal psychology applied to your real, tangible financial life. Because money, let's be honest, is not just paper bills or numbers flickering on a screen. It's energy. It's a symbol. It's an emotional mirror reflecting the stories you inherited, the fears you buried, and the desires you never dared to name. The gemstone you chose reveals which archetype currently governs your relationship with abundance. It shows what has been silently blocking the natural flow of prosperity into your life, and how you can finally unlock it. If you've ever felt stuck in a cycle of scarcity, if you've worked harder and harder, yet abundance always seems just out of reach, if, deep down, there's a quiet voice whispering that you don't truly deserve more, then this message didn't find you by accident. You were meant to hear it today. Stay with me until the end, because what follows is not a mere personality reading. It's a map. A path back to the part of your soul that knows abundance isn't something you chase. It's something you remember. Now, let's begin. Your gemstone has something vital to tell you. Let's start with the diamond, the archetype of self-reliance. If the diamond caught your eye, it wasn't a coincidence. Your soul is speaking through a symbol that only reveals itself to those who have been forged in pressure. The diamond, after all, is born in darkness. Miles beneath the Earth's crust, under crushing heat and impossible weight, carbon transforms into the hardest, most brilliant gem known to humankind. And so did you. Your unconscious is ruled by the lone hero archetype, the one who learned early in life that strength means survival. Perhaps you were the child who had to grow up too fast, the one who became dependable when no one else was, the one who learned that asking for help could be mistaken for weakness. Somewhere along the way, you made a silent vow. If I'm going to make it, it will be by my own hands. That vow became your crown and your cage. You've built a life on resilience, independence, and unshakable willpower. People admire you for your discipline, your ability to keep moving when others give up. You're the one who finds solutions in chaos, who turns pain into progress. But in the world of money and success, this same armor can become a wall. You believe that abundance must be earned through struggle, that rest is laziness, that relying on others will somehow dilute your worth. You don't just work hard, you prove your value through it. And while that mindset has brought you achievements, it's also kept you trapped in a cycle where prosperity always feels conditional. Conditional on effort, on control, on perfection. Jung would have recognized this instantly. The shadow of the hero is isolation. When your brilliance blinds you to collaboration, when your independence turns into disconnection, you cut off the flow of abundance that moves through human connection, trust, and shared purpose. True prosperity doesn't always come from solitary struggle. It often arrives through synergy. The diamond may be rare, but it shines brightest when it's set into a crown, surrounded by other stones, reflecting and amplifying light together. Your spiritual challenge, then, is simple but profound. Learn to receive, to allow others to contribute to your success without feeling it weakens your identity, to understand that abundance flows more freely when you stop guarding it so tightly. Strength doesn't mean doing everything alone. Sometimes the bravest act is to trust. Ask yourself now, when was the last time you allowed someone to help you without guilt? When did you last say yes to an opportunity that required you to lean, even just a little, on another person's strength? Because that moment, that trust, might just be the crack where light finally enters the diamond. If the ruby drew you in, your soul is guided by the guardian archetype, a spirit that has turned survival into an art form. You are someone who has seen instability up close, maybe in your childhood, maybe in your early adult life when the ground beneath your feet didn't feel steady. Perhaps money was scarce, love was unpredictable, or safety was something you had to create for yourself rather than expect from others. Those experiences carved deep neural pathways that whisper even now, be careful, be prepared. The storm could return at any time. That's why, for you, abundance isn't about luxury or status. It's about peace of mind. It's about sleeping at night knowing you're safe, your bills are paid, and nothing can catch you off guard. Your savings account isn't just money, it's armor. Your plans and precautions aren't just strategy. They're the roots that keep your tree upright when the winds blow. And yet, this beautiful instinct to protect can quietly morph into a cage of fear. Jung noticed this pattern. When the guardian lives in constant alert, protection turns into paralysis. When you guard too much, you stop receiving. When you save from fear, you tell the universe, I don't trust abundance to stay. So the flow of prosperity mirrors that message. It hesitates, it slows, it shrinks. You end up safe, but not free. Secure, but not growing. Here lies your paradox. You've mastered stability, but now the soul calls you to master expansion. To learn that safety isn't the absence of risk, it's the presence of trust. True abundance comes not from avoiding loss, but from believing in your ability to create again and again, no matter what happens. It's time to evolve from the fearful guardian to the wise guardian, the one who protects from love, not anxiety, the one who builds wealth not as a fortress, but as a foundation. Ask yourself with honesty, are you saving money because you love your future, or because you fear your past? Are your financial decisions driven by wisdom, or by the echo of old wounds? Because when love becomes your motive instead of fear, every dollar multiplies differently. Your energy changes. Your reality follows. If the emerald spoke to you, your soul carries the inner king or queen archetype, the one who longs not just to rule, but to be recognized. This gem vibrates with the frequency of self-value. It calls to those who, deep inside, know they were born for greatness, yet somewhere along their path, that knowing was denied. Maybe you were told your dreams were unrealistic. Maybe your brilliance was met with jealousy or silence. Maybe you learned that being too much, too emotional, too intense, too different would only bring rejection. And so, a quiet wound began to form. If I am not validated, I am not worthy. Jung observed this wound often, the royal wound of the soul that forgets its crown. Those touched by it carry a hunger for recognition that seeps into every area of life, especially money. For you, prosperity is not simply material comfort.
It's proof. Proof that your ideas matter. Proof that you deserve to take up space in a world that once dismissed you. You strive for excellence, not from greed, but from a deep desire to feel seen. Yet, here lies the trap. When your sense of worth depends on success, the goalpost keeps moving. Every achievement fades too quickly. Every victory demands the next one. No number in your bank account ever feels like enough. Because the emptiness isn't in your wallet. It's in the unhealed corners of your heart. The true king, Jung wrote, does not prove his royalty. He radiates it. He doesn't demand validation. He attracts respect through the quiet certainty of self-knowing. Your spiritual task is to separate value from validation. To understand that your worth does not fluctuate with your income, your productivity, or other people's applause. The emerald, known as the stone of the heart, reminds you that abundance begins in self-love. When you honor your gifts simply because they exist, not because they earn approval, the universe begins to respond differently. Opportunities appear not as tests, but as mirrors of your new self-respect. Ask yourself, what would happen if you truly believed, right now, that you are already enough? How would your decisions change if you didn't need to prove your worth to anyone, not even yourself? Because the moment you reclaim your inner throne, money stops being validation. It becomes a tool for expression. Your abundance will no longer say, "See me." It will whisper, "I already am." If the sapphire pulled you in, it's because your soul remembers something sacred. The joy of creation itself. This gemstone resonates with the divine child archetype, the aspect of the psyche that Jung described as the spark of eternal potential, the untouched core of imagination that connects us to the infinite. You, dear listener, carry that spark vividly. From a young age, you've seen the world differently. Where others saw limitations, you saw patterns, colors, and endless possibilities. You dreamed of building things that didn't exist yet, of living a life that felt free, vibrant, and meaningful. But then came the conditioning. Be realistic. Grow up. Creativity doesn't pay the bills. And somewhere along the line, you began to believe that survival required the death of authenticity. That to make money, you had to silence your art. That your originality was a luxury you couldn't afford. That belief became the silent battle you fought ever since. The tension between being true to yourself and being safe in the world. Your unconscious whispers, "Follow your heart." But your conditioning answers, "You'll go broke if you do." This inner conflict blocks your flow of abundance, because creativity is your currency. It's your life force. And when you repress it, the energy that was meant to flow outward, to create, to inspire, to attract, turns inward, becoming stagnation, frustration, even self-doubt. Jung saw this in countless individuals. When the divine child is repressed, the adult becomes cynical. The spark fades. The universe seems indifferent. But when the child is honored, miracles return. You are not meant to imitate. You are meant to originate. And here's the truth your soul has been waiting to remember. Authenticity and prosperity are not enemies. They are twins. When you express your truth through what you create, whether it's art, business, or innovation, you become magnetic. The world doesn't reward you despite your uniqueness. It rewards you because of it. The sapphire symbolizes divine wisdom. It reminds you that what makes you different is what makes you valuable. Your task is to merge your creativity with practicality. Not to abandon either, but to fuse them. Ask yourself, what would you create if you knew, with absolute certainty, that the universe would support you? What idea have you silenced because you feared it wouldn't sell? The moment you honor that idea, that impulse, that truth, you step into the stream where creation and abundance become one and the same. Because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs your original frequency. If the amethyst drew your attention, your spirit carries the mark of the silent warrior. A soul tempered by fire, tested by loss, and strengthened by endurance. You are someone who learned resilience not from theory, but from survival. Perhaps life demanded that you grow strong before you were ready. Maybe you faced responsibilities that no child should have had to bear, or challenges that forced you to hold others together when you were the one breaking inside. Somewhere along the path, you discovered a truth most people never do: that pain can become power, that silence can be armor, that endurance can be a form of grace. But this is where the paradox begins. When strength becomes your identity, you forget what it feels like to rest. You've mastered survival so completely that you unconsciously recreate struggle, even when life no longer requires it. Money for you is not pleasure, it's protection. Not freedom, but defense. Every dollar earned is proof that you'll never be vulnerable again. And yet, Jung would have seen in you not a flaw, but a doorway. The chance to transmute survival into true prosperity. Because when your nervous system stays locked in vigilance, abundance can't breathe. When you approach life as a battlefield, every blessing feels like a brief ceasefire instead of a natural flow. The silent warrior must now learn a new skill: receiving without fear.
To understand that allowing softness doesn't erase your strength, it completes it. That your power doesn't come from resistance alone, but from trust in life itself. The amethyst, known as the stone of spiritual transformation, teaches that alchemy isn't about fighting darkness. It's about transforming it into light. And your path now is to transmute your need to survive into the freedom to thrive. Ask yourself, what would it mean to live without expecting another battle? How would your choices change if you truly believed the universe was no longer testing you, but rewarding you? Because you have already proven your strength. You have endured enough storms to last several lifetimes. Now, life is not asking you to fight. It's inviting you to receive. The warrior who once guarded their heart with iron now learns that true invincibility is found in openness. That abundance flows where fear once lived. And that peace, real, unshakable peace, is the victory your soul has been marching toward all along. What you've just experienced isn't fortune-telling. It isn't a simple pick-a-stone game. It's a mirror, one that reflects the deeper patterns shaping how you experience wealth, success, and self-worth. Carl Jung devoted his life to proving something radical: that we are not merely logical beings making random choices. We are ancient tapestries woven from symbols, myths, and collective memories. And within that unconscious realm, the archetypes move. Invisible forces that guide your attitudes toward money, love, and power. Each gemstone you saw represents one of those forces. The diamond, forged in isolation. The hero who believes worth must be earned through struggle. The ruby, vigilant and grounded. The guardian who seeks safety at all costs. The emerald, regal yet wounded. The inner king or queen who craves recognition more than peace. The sapphire, radiant and inventive. The divine child who doubts their right to turn creativity into prosperity. And the amethyst, silent and unbreakable. The warrior who confuses survival with life itself. You may have resonated with one, or with several. If multiple stones spoke to you, that isn't confusion. It's evolution. It means your psyche is integrating different aspects of abundance at once. You're not stuck in a single archetype anymore. You're becoming whole. Because these patterns aren't cages, they're codes. They aren't your destiny, they're data. The act of seeing them, clearly, consciously, compassionately, is the first step toward liberation. As Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Now you've made it conscious. You've named the archetype behind your financial emotions, the fears, the defenses, the beliefs that shaped how you give, save, spend, and receive. And now, your work begins. Not to destroy those parts, but to integrate them. To thank the diamond for its strength, the ruby for its prudence, the emerald for its ambition, the sapphire for its creativity,
the amethyst for its courage. And then, to choose from awareness, not instinct. Because abundance is not something external to be won. It's an internal frequency that mirrors how much love, trust, and wholeness you allow yourself to hold. When you heal the part of you that fears scarcity, you open the gates for prosperity. When you forgive yourself for past mistakes, money becomes energy again, not judgment. When you realize that you are already enough, life starts reflecting that truth everywhere you look. The universe doesn't reward effort alone. It responds to energy. And the energy of someone who knows their worth, trusts the process, and creates from authenticity, is magnetic. Your gemstone chose you to remind you of this. You are not broken. You are evolving. You are not chasing abundance. You are remembering it. So tonight, before you sleep, hold in your mind the image of the stone you chose.
Let it glow softly behind your eyes. And whisper to yourself, not as an affirmation, but as a truth already written in your soul. I am safe. I am worthy. I am creative. I am strong. Abundance flows to me easily because it flows from me. Now, take a deep breath. And remember, your true wealth has always been within you. Take one more slow breath. Let your mind quiet. Because what you just felt wasn't coincidence. It was remembrance. You didn't simply choose a gemstone. Your soul answered a call. Each choice tonight revealed not who you should become, but who you already are beneath the noise of fear, pressure, and expectation. And now, you've seen it clearly. The patterns, the strengths, the wounds, the light that has always been waiting to guide you back to yourself. This is the hidden purpose behind Jung's work, individuation. The process of becoming whole again, of uniting all your inner archetypes into one conscious being who lives with intention, trust, and peace. So before you scroll away, pause for a moment and feel gratitude for your courage to look inward. Because few dare to confront the truth that their relationship with money, power, and worth is not written by circumstance. It's written by the soul. If this journey resonated with you, if one gemstone spoke louder than the rest, share its name in the comments below. Not for me, for you. Because every time you name what lives within, you reclaim a piece of your power. And if you want more journeys like this, more symbols, more stories, more mirrors that help you decode the language of your unconscious, subscribe, stay connected, and walk this path with us. Your transformation doesn't end here. It's just beginning. Because the gem you chose tonight isn't an answer. It's a key. A key to a new kind of abundance. One that shines from the inside out.
Now, ask yourself one last question before this video fades to black. If you already possessed everything you were seeking, how would you begin to live?